Alright, here we are pulling up at the property, and looks like a decent neighborhood here in Hammond. Let's go check it out. So here we are at the house, and as you can see, overgrown like a lot of last minute tax sale properties are, but not too bad. Looks like the outside looks okay. We're gonna have to hear about whatever deal's going on here in a second. Now let's take a look inside. Alright, here we are inside, and I think we need to call this Adam's Antique Shop in here. You actually sold a bunch of stuff out of here already, didn't you?
Yes, I have.
How much did you raise out of here? Almost $1,000 worth of stuff, huh?
I'll have over 1,000 once we get to the end.
That's awesome to get an immediate rebate. Well, as you can see, the place needs a big time rehab. You know, once it's cleaned out, it's really not going to look that bad. Don't let this stuff scare you here. You can get a crew in here, get this all out for a few $100. But you know, it's put together okay.
It's actually
It's pretty roomy.
yeah, it's a decent sized house, and there's actually wood floors under all this carpet here.
Uh-oh, look at the kitchen. That's gonna make the clean out bill a couple $100 higher right here now. But you know, it's still put together. Once this is cleaned out, I'll have to take some pictures of this once you get it cleaned out. It's gonna look real good.
We've actually, it didn't look like that when we purchased the property.
Oh, that's your staging area?
That's our staging area.
Oh, okay, good.
Dumpster arrives.
And there's a walk-up attic up there, huh?
Yes, it's full of the same stuff, and a full basin, but you won't be able to see down there because the electric is not on. But you know, the home currently assesses for $129,000.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't think there's a lot of options with the property. Obviously, you could wholesale it, considering that my total investment's only about a little bit over $14,000.
Well, minus $1,000 for your antique shop sales, right?
Right. And you could also rehab it, and I think this property here, you know, if you put 30 grand into it on top of you know, 15 or whatever, you have 45,000. I think this property would sell fairly quickly in the $90,000 to $100,000 range.
Yeah, me too. And you know, 30,000 would really turn this into a show place because you didn't have any work to do outside except clean up. I mean, the siding, most of the windows, the roof looks good.
Yeah, well, sidings and windows are all fairly new. These floors are all in really good condition, all nice wood.
Yeah.
Oak floors.
For 30,000, you could get it looking like that last property that we were in, I'm sure, or even better, I think. So, well, that's awesome. I think we ought to go back to the office now and really look up some numbers here and see what this place is worth before rehab, if Adam just sold it as is, and maybe what he could expect to get. Let's see if his numbers are on target. Let's head back there. All right, well, usually the first thing I like to do is head over to the county website and look at a few items about the property here. Now, it looks like this one here is, it's actually set at 124.7. And the other thing I really like to make sure I get is a square footage figure so we can compare it a little bit better. So when I click on the improvements, I see we're looking at a 1,345 square foot dwelling and a 440 square foot garage. And if I click on the detail, there's the picture right there. And looks like it's got 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. So that's going to help us to analyze this a lot better. So let's see what's sold in the past in the very lowest range in this part of town. That's really what we're looking to do, is look at what's the worst case scenario, what's the lowest selling property that's comparable to this in this area. So let's go take a look at some comps now. Alright, so first let's take a look at what we think this property could sell for right now as is with just that cleanup done. Now I've actually got access through my local realtor to the sold comps in my area, and in most areas you can use Zillow.com. Don't go by their Zestimate, that's usually way too high, but you can do a radius search. I recommend about a half a mile, no more than that, from the property you're looking at, and you can see all the properties that's sold. But in my area, I happen to have to use the MLS listings. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a radius search, and I'm going to put it within a half mile of the property address. and I'm just gonna pick the single family houses. And I only like to go back about 6 months. That gives us a much more accurate picture of how the market is doing right now. So we'll go back to January, and we'll pick the area, which is South Hammond. And what else do we want to do? We want to pick the proper zip code, keep it narrowed down. And as we just saw, that property was 1,344 square feet, I believe. So let's look at properties that are like 1,000 square feet and up. And let's see what we got. Okay, now the lowest priced property that is sold, that's at all comparables, $26,000. So that's really great to see that, and that was only on the market for 12 days. That's a really good indication that Adam's going to be able to resell that for at least $25,000 right now if he wishes to. I'm also seeing one here that just sold a week ago for $31,000, and that's practically right around the corner from this property. And if you notice, all these properties are even slightly smaller, 1,100 square feet, 1,150, 1,095. There's one for $1,344. That's the exact same size as this property. It was only on the market 10 days, right around the corner once again, and that sold for $35,000. So it looks like he's in really good shape to at least make $10,000 quickly on this deal, and possibly more. So why don't we go through now and look at what some of the highest priced properties were that were sold in that area, and we'll do it a little more accurately this way, for as if we were going to do an appraisal. So let's take a look at it that way. Actually, let's do one more thing first I forgot about. Let's see what is on the market right now that Adam can expect to compete with if he wholesales this property. Then we'll actually look at what the higher end potential of the property value might be. So let's go through again and let's look at everything that's within a half mile once again. And this time, instead of doing sold, sold are usually more accurate, but we also want to know what kind of market we're going to be placing this property into right now, not just what's sold in the past. So again, we'll fill out all this information here, and let's put that zip code in. How about once again, structure? Let's go at least 1,000 square feet, so we're somewhat in the ballpark. And let's see what's available on the market right now. Now this is super. We were throwing around what, 25,000, 30,000 for Adam's property, but the cheapest property for sale in the market right now is 38,000. And so if Adam puts his property on the market for $10,000 less than that, it'll be the cheapest property on the market by $10,000. I think that's going to fly off the shelf pretty quick. And he's competing with a similar type of property here that's $38,000. Looks like it's cleaned up. It doesn't show any interior pictures. Probably a foreclosure. So he's in great shape. His property will be very first on the list here. $10,000 cheaper than anything else, and he could make a quick $15,000. Or actually, I'd have him put it on the market for more than $25,000 since we're seeing that the cheapest property on the market is $38,000. So now let's go look at what the upper potential value of the property might be. So let's look at this as if Adam had rehabbed this house now, and we were an appraiser going through to see what comps that we could find. So what we do, most lenders usually allow for about a mile radius for comps. And we'll again type that address in there. We wanted to be conservative the first time because we want to make sure on the way in that we can wholesale that property immediately for a profit. But if we were going through to appraise the property all fixed up, we'll do it a little bit differently to see what we might be able to max out at. Now, once again, we'll do residential, single family detached, and we'll choose the sold properties in the last year. And we will again choose the area, And this time let's put a more narrow square footage range in there, because usually comps have to be within a couple hundred square feet of each other. So let's do like 1150 to 1550, and let's start at least 60,000 and see what is available that is, or what has actually sold above 60,000 that might be able to be used for comps. And as you can see, we have a whole range of values in here within a mile that start at 66,000, go all the way up to these are some newer homes, and this is not really a comparable neighborhood down here on this bottom here, but it looks like we got a big range between 60 and 113,000. And so it looks like Adam was pretty much correct. It looks like there's plenty of them here for 75, 78, 80, 89. It looks like it'd be in the 80 to 90 range. You know, I'm not a big fan of rehabbing, and so I would definitely try to take like a quick $10,000 profit on this instead of rehabbing it. But it's good to know that if that's your business model, you'd be able to rehab it, and you'd have plenty of comps to choose from to establish a value of like $80,000 to $90,000. So that is a great deal, Adam. I hope you wholesale it, but if you decide to rehab that one too, you should be in good shape. Now, Adam was working on another deal that we saw in the first video and in this video just now, and we're going to go over that one. This is going to be a monster deal that I think he's going to easily make 6 figures on. So check your email, and we'll be getting details about that to you right away. Have a good weekend.